This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
Hey, I'm back with you. My name's Gianna. Welcome back to the Icon podcast. And today we've got a guest coming in from Florida. Welcome in, Ginny.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you a little bit off camera to start, but we want to start all the way from the beginning for those that are tuning in and listening. Tell us all about you, your real estate journey. How did you get drawn into real estate? And where does it all begin? And what market are you in? I have so many questions.
Yes. I'm actually in a little town on the panhandle of Florida, which is called Niceville. Yes, there is an actual town that's called Niceville, Florida. We are kind of a little city just outside of Destin, which probably most people know about, the world's most beautiful beaches. So if you think about Florida as a pot, we're the handle of the pot, sometimes known as Lower Alabama. So don't hold that against us. But anyhow, how did I get started in real estate? It actually was not my idea. It was my granddad's idea. My senior year of college, he said, you should really think about being a realtor. And I was like, that's for old ladies. Why would I want to be a realtor? And he was like, just try it, just get your license. And it's just, something that you can have. It's always, good to have that on your resume. And I said, okay, sure, I'll give it a whirl. So I graduated from the University of Florida with a degree in public relations and marketing. And I happened to get my real estate license my senior year. And I hopped on board, joined a small company called First Realty of Florida, and partnered with a gal who was actually selling my parents' house. And that's kind of where it started. It started in, 2003, and here we are in 2022.
Wow. Okay. So we've been in the real estate game for a while.
A little bit. Yeah.
That's really cool. And like you said, if you're thinking in college, you're like, that's for old ladies. Like if I were to go, I'm in college, why do I need to be a real estate agent? And then you see that first tuition check and you're like, why did I go to college?
Well, my whole idea was I was going to go move to a big city and, be in public relations and do all the things that I thought that was going to come with. And I got into real estate in 2003, 4, 5, 6. It was pretty amazing, but I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought that was just normal. And then when the market tanked, when we had the recession and the downturn, and then I had to learn how to be a foreclosure and a short sale agent. Then we had the oil spill here on the panhandle. So that also affected the market. It's been rocking and rolling really ever since 2012. So it's never the same. That's what I
wake up every day. And actually you really still get to use a lot of public relations and marketing in this career as you're building your own brand. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something that's ever changing, which, hence the flamingos in the background. That was actually one of my very first mentors in the business. His name is Ron Jones. Shout out to you, Ron Jones, if you ever listen to this podcast. He said, Ginny Lee, you need to differentiate yourself from, all the other real estate agents in the state of Florida, right? And I'm like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Why? And he was like, well, I think, what do you think about pink flamingos? And I'm like, what? Like pink flamingos? Like, are you serious? No one's going to take me serious if you have like a plastic pink flamingo out in front of the yard next to my yard sign. And he's like, look, listen to me, just do it. I said, okay, fine, I'll just do it. And well, the flamingo and the flock was born. So
wow,
that's the story behind the flamingo. Yeah, super fun.
That's pretty cool. So so you just leave them out front next to your yard sign, or how do you?
So so typically I will put 2 or 3 out in front of the yard sign. It depends. Some of the neighborhood kids like to have fun with it. So the flamingo kind of travels throughout the period of the listing. Some people's dogs pee on them, but
classic.
The classic thing about it is anyone and everyone who sees a flamingo comes and sends me a picture of them with a flamingo object, or texts me on the side and says, hey, guess what? I just saw the cutest flamingo. Or, hey, I was just shopping for sheets and they have these really cute flamingo sheets. You know, you should totally get a pair. So, I mean, I just get all sorts of beautiful random flamingo gifts from people as well. So, I mean, clearly, this is a painted oyster. I mean, how clever is that?
That is so cool.
So,
okay,
yeah.
that's a fun brand. And it's like, have you seen
We
those
got a 5-foot flamingo over here staring at me in the face. I mean, girl, I got it all.
You're like, and really, this has become my brand. It wasn't even my idea. I really didn't even want to do it. And now everybody thinks I love flamingos. Like those memes where it's like you tell your mom one time that you like ladybugs, and now everything she gets you is ladybugs.
Yes. So I am
That's
the
so
flamingo,
funny.
the flamingo brand, the flock, which I'm good with it.
The flock. I love that. That is really cool. And
I love
fun how
it.
it's become, part of your brand, your routine, and what people know you for, which is really cool. And that's fun.
Stand out, differentiate yourself.
Yeah, and it's not boring either. Like that's fun. It's a unique item, and people are like,
what?
Like not even like with real estate, but they're like anytime they see a flamingo anywhere, and of course in Florida with like farmers markets and tourism and stuff like that. I'm sure.
The funny thing, I used to work for a company called Pelican Real Estate, and people would always call me and they'd be like, "You do know that that's a flamingo and not a pelican, right?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." But it just gave me an opportunity to say, I'm so glad you're calling about 123 Main Street. Yes, I do know that that's a flamingo and not a pelican, but let me tell you about the house. So that flamingo has created a lot of talk triggers throughout, my time as a realtor.
Yeah, absolutely. And, to make it a point again, she does know her birds, everyone. No.
Amen to that, girl. Amen to that.
So then, okay, so you started with Pelican Real Estate and you were all over the place. And then EXP presented itself to you. And I'm sure there was a lot of gears grinding in your head when you first were introduced to EXP. But what is the one thing that caught you enough to be like, you know what? I'm going to make this move.
I was totally caught off guard. A friend of mine that I was doing a deal with just happened to say something and said, hey, I really think that you should take a look at this EXP model. I mean, I know EXP, but if you ever have any thoughts, I would feel terrible if I didn't give you the opportunity to see it. And I was like, okay, sure. We'll meet you at your office. So I met him at the office with 2 other gals in a previous brokerage that I was at. And what they say is so true. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And pretty much in the next 3 weeks, all of us transferred our license over to EXP, and we're coming up on 1 year. So my 1-year anniversary with EXP is April 1st.
Okay, Miss Ginny Lee, not even here with EXP for 1 year and already an icon agent.
Yes, super excited about that.
Excuse me. That's pretty cool. So, you said that model is really what drew you to EXP. You liked that. You couldn't unsee it. And you were very quick to switch your license over. Now, is that model still while you're there, or with all the collaboration, stock options, revenue share, have you fallen in love with something else at EXP that, is going to keep you there long term? Not saying that you're leaving, but what's the number one reason that you've stayed?
Well, initially, correct. I came over because I instantly had, an $85,000 price increase because I didn't have to pay the ridiculous fees that I was paying at my previous brokerage. And again, I loved them and they were great and they served a purpose at the time. But now I think what really blew me away about the first 3 to 6 months at EXP is the collaboration over competition. I mean, especially in the fast forward movement, they are totally serious about that. Like, I have been a participant and a coach for real estate over the past, 10, 15 years. And it's accountability is huge. And being able to reach out to somebody who's already done what you want to do, and they're just going to open the playbook because they're, business partners and in business with you. I mean, that's invaluable. So that's what's going to keep me at EXP. The stock and the rev share, all that stuff is great. It's just like icing on the cake. But For sure, if you're serious about selling real estate and you want to be at the top of your game and you want to learn from others and be surrounded in a growth mindseted group, then EXP is definitely for you.
Absolutely. And the challenge of it is they're not your immediate competitors, but rather your competition in a fun way. Somebody that
in a fun way, yes.
Right. Somebody you want to be, somebody that's like, okay, bring it on, but in a very healthy, fun way that everyone wins.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, you're in competition with them anyways, whether you aren't or you are with them at the same brokerage. But I have a very abundant mindset, and there's business for everybody in the community. It's just, how can I help you? How can you help me? And the other amazing thing, especially in this low inventory market, right? You can share coming soon in our area only with the people that are within your brokerage. So there's definitely strength in numbers as far as that's concerned in this current market.
Absolutely. Well, beyond taming your flock of flamingos and making enough production to achieve icon status within your first year at EXP, what do you do in your free time to make sure that you are not on burnout mode? You're keeping up that emotional health, that work-life balance. What are your secrets to that?
My secrets, I don't really think that there is. I mean, I think balance is not really the best word to explain it. I think that you have to take everything in stride. I'm a big proponent of, I work out with the trainer 3 times a week. I'm also just getting back into yoga. You really kind of need that time, especially now that, you're on 24 hours a day. It seems your brain is on 24 hours a day. You need that time to kind of like reset and, take a breath. When I'm not working out, I love to visit my nieces and nephews. I have 6, and they are just so joyful, and I love being around them and just listening to all the cool things that they say. So that's kind of how if I need a joy break, I usually text my sister-in-law and be like, hey, can I come see the kids this weekend? She's like, yeah, take.
That's so cute. Now, do they hold you like accountable? When I've been doing this interview, I've interviewed quite a few people, and they like to talk about how their little ones at the dinner table will be like, well, did you sell a house today? And do they know what you do? Do they keep you accountable in that way, even how little and sassy they are?
It's really funny. Yeah. So my oldest niece, Lexi, so she likes to not intimidate me. Intimidate? No. What's
imitate you?
Imitate. There you go. Imitate.
Very
she likes
similar words.
So she'll put on all of her bracelets, and she'll have her phone, and she'll have her purse, and she'll run around the living room going, no. Do you want to sell a house? Do you want to do this? And I'm like, oh my gosh. It's so amazing to me what kids pick up and how perceptive that they can, that they can be. So yeah.
That is so cute.
Accountable. And it gives me something, to work towards. With the cost of everything raising these days, I would love to contribute to their education and anything that they would need moving forward.
Of course. I love that. And Lexi, a future recruit to the EXP game.
Yeah, Lexi would be a future recruit. And my oldest nephew always told me that he wants to be a home builder. So he's going to build the homes, and then he'll let me sell them.
That's so cute. Well, you already have a team.
The Lego building, because they're building.
Okay. Yep. That's important. It's an important first step. Mm-hmm. And you should probably be selling those Lego houses too. So with the amount of production you do to achieve the Icon Award, that's a lot of work. How much production is that for you in your market? Where do you cap out? How did you achieve the Icon Award? And really, what benefits has it brought you? What does the Icon Award mean to you? Just kind of in your own words, like that Icon Award through your set of eyes. What does it mean to you?
I would say, so iconing is new to me. This is my first year at EXP. This is my first time iconing. But what's really amazing is that they recognize you and they pay you stock back for doing the work that you already were doing. So again, like I said earlier, it's just like icing on the cake. And receiving that Icon Award, you would probably know more so than I what percentage of EXP agents earn the Icon Award. And actually, I wasn't striving for it per se. I was just doing what I normally do, which is help people buy and sell real estate. Because my real big thing is, focus on helping people, and that in turn will then help you. So I would like to say that I had some sort of like big plan, but I didn't have a plan. I just, kept working and, kept trying to achieve the dreams for buyers and sellers, and it's a tough market. So sometimes you had to write, 10 or 12 offers in order to get, the buyer the house that they want to see. And now with COVID and a lot of people looking to move in PCS in the summertime, you do a lot of videoing. So it's a lot of personal time with your telephone.
A personal assistant you have right in your pocket.
Right. If only she could drive, do laundry, and run errands.
I'm hoping the laundry features in the next update, because that's that one chore I hate doing, but I do it. Okay. I'm not the stinky.
But I'm sure that there is probably a virtual assistant for that.
Probably. Well,
actually, there is. The first time I ever met Justin, I was like, I just help me understand this. Like, how can you have this many virtual assistants, or what we like to call them, international partners? And he's like, you just do. Like, for example, my laundry basket, there is a camera that looks at the laundry basket. And when the laundry basket gets a certain place, then that person triggers this person to do that. And I'm like, are you serious? So my mind was completely blown.
I mean, and he talks about it too. He's so funny. He's like, they run my Tinder.
Yes.
Swipe through girls for him. And then he's like, if they match, then I get to talk to them. He's like, but I don't have to waste my time like swiping through.
That's so funny that you say that, because he did mention that at a dinner earlier this year. And I was like, you do what? Like, that's amazing. I was like, I just need to put your brain into my brain, because I, get tricked up on, first comes this, then comes that, then comes this. But yeah.
No, he's like, my VAs will schedule.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, I guess, does it count as love at first sight if really you don't see him till the date, I guess, because you're not even talking?
I guess that makes the suspense, right? It kind of keeps you from saying, I don't really want to go on this date, because you didn't know what they look like.
Right. So I don't know, but I guess.
Kudos to you, Justin. Kudos to you.
You do you, Justin. You're killing the game. We all want to have the brain of Justin Nelson, okay? Yeah, he really does find an awesome way to really leverage them all in his personal life, professional life. And, he's not, I guess, what's the word? Like selfish with them. He's like very giving. I always tell him he's like Gru from Despicable Me, because he and his virtual assistants, he could be like, okay, we're going to steal the moon. And they're like, yeah, like, it's so funny. And he's like, the show had come on the other day where Gru's dressed like a princess. And I was like, Justin, there's you, like, doing anything for your VAs. And he's like, you're not wrong. He loves that. And he's such a good like leader for them. It's so cool to see. And it's just been awesome to watch him build his empire.
That's awesome.
So, we talked about the benefits of the Icon Award. We talked about, your production to get there. So for somebody who is in their first year at EXP, and maybe they're newer to the real estate world, or maybe they are experienced real estate agents just new to the EXP world, is Icon something they should be looking for, or like setting their goals towards in their first year? Or, kind of give your thoughts on that.
It's an interesting question that you say that. I'm currently reading Atomic Habits, and for the second time, and there was a quote in there that I'm going to totally botch, but he was saying you really should look at your systems, and how good your systems are depend on how well, or if not, you're going to achieve your goals, right? So I would say, if you were a first-time realtor, or you're a realtor that's just deciding to join EXP, let's be real. EXP is a very different brokerage model. You have SkySlope, everything's online, everything's in the world. So you really do have to kind of systematize how you're going to navigate that. And then I would say, once you build on a system, then I would say you can set your goals and be like, how can I get to that icon? Because a lot of times, people get into EXP and they're like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? Like, the broker has to sign the listing agreement? What do you mean, you have to upload your paperwork? What do you mean that the dates have to actually work? And it's like, the really interesting thing, and I hated it at first. I was like, wait a minute, I have to do all this stuff. And it's like, Ginny, this is what you're supposed to be doing all along, right? Like EXP is just making you a better realtor. It's just making your contracts that much more detailed and specific. It's just protecting you and the buyer, the seller, whomever it is that you're working with or working for, to help you be the best that you can possibly be. So I would say, as much as, personalities want to just go and get started and sell, that's all awesome and amazing. But first, get that system in place so you have somebody, whether it's an online, virtual assistant or an in-house person or, a SkySlope, transaction coordinator that can help you navigate what it takes to get into that virtual side of EXP, because that is very different.
Mm-hmm. And there are so many resources too. I'm sure it's easy to get overwhelmed looking at EXP. I mean, 60 hours of marketing training material uploaded a week, and mentorships, and EXP cons and everything else. I'm sure, looking at it, it's like drinking water from a fire hose.
100%.
But setting out your systems, you can make everything achievable.
You can.
Through your time with EXP, because the structure's there, the mentorship is there, and it's just about what you are setting out to be.
And to go back to answer your question, my production last year was just over $20 million. Okay. I am a single agent. And I do have people that help me, but just to kind of give a frame of reference, that's what my production was last year, just under 50 transactions. We are a military and a second home vacation rental area. So those are kind of like the three buckets of business. So military, second home ownership, and vacation rental.
Okay, cool. That's a really cool, unique market, because I'm sure you're seeing a lot of different every day. Yeah, absolutely. So at one point, you were on the outside looking into EXP. You saw the grass was greener, and you saw the model. But what I'm sure at some point, when somebody was trying to get you to look at the model, you were skeptical. You were like, okay, pyramid scheme, isn't too good to be true.
Well,
what's going on?
Actually, only one person ever approached me about it. And that one person who approached me about it, I ended up signing 3 weeks later.
Okay.
So despite what everybody, thinks, or the assumption that, everyone's knocking on your door to sign you up for EXP, that wasn't my experience. And some other people in my market who had already been at EXP would run into them at the Brett Gove event in August in Dallas. And I was like, why did you not ever bring this to my attention? And they're like, well, we just never thought that you would be interested. And then they're like, we wish we had. But so anybody out there who is afraid to reach out to somebody and tell them about EXP, don't be scared. Just do it.
Yeah. Just spread the good word. Sometimes the best word for no reason.
Yep.
That's awesome. So for people that are skeptical, why are words so hard on this call today?
I don't know why words are so hard. Probably the caffeine, or not enough caffeine, right?
Maybe. I think you threw me off by trying to say imitate and instead of intimidate, and now my tongue's just twisted. But so for those who are on the outside looking in, they're skeptical, what would you have to say to them, to get them to at least look at the model?
I would say just sit down and watch the video. Sit down, watch the video, and then sit down or call if you don't have time. Send a video message. I'm a big proponent of, quick video text messages back and forth, and ask people what their experience has been at EXP and why they're there. And, like I said, it's different for everybody, but I have never in my 18 years of selling real estate seen a model that you could do so many different things. And what's fascinating about our career field is there's so many different types of personalities that are killing it in so many different ways, but there is only one you. And EXP gives you 6 to 10 opportunities to monetize your business, whether it's a team, whether it's rev share, whether it's, getting extra stock or extra, points or perks for going to a different event. I don't want to say free coaching, but there's so much information in all of the materials that they give you. You almost couldn't even do it and cover it in 8 hours a day for 365 days. I mean, it's insane.
Right. And it's cool too, though, because there's no ceiling.
Everything like Success Magazine. I mean, there's online, there's the world, there's, podcasts, there's masterminds, there's, Facebook Lives, there's different trainings. I mean, the world is your oyster at EXP. You just have to plug yourself in and decide. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was to decide where to go first.
Yeah, really to, pick a specialty of what you want to improve in. And then, because I've seen people say, well, I want to get better at social media. Oh, well, I want to get better at, lead sourcing. I want to get better at this. And they've all taken different routes. And then once they get comfortable with that, it's like they become a mentor or they speak on that topic and then they pursue something else, which is so cool.
Right. And that's all in addition to selling and listing real estate.
Right. And like improving you to be the best real estate agent that you can be for your clients, for your family, for your team, and everybody wins. It's really cool.
Amen to that.
Amen. Ginny Lee and her flock of flamingos, ladies and gentlemen. That's all the questions I really have for you. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think thank you again for having me on here. It was a lot of fun and a real honor. And if anyone needs anything, please feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact information, in the show notes. And thank you.
Sure, that sounds good to me. Ginny, thank you so much.
Flocking amazing day.
A flocking amazing day. I love that. And if you ever want to do a spin-off episode to talk more about your marketing tactics or, the kind of market that you're in, please let me know. Because if there's one thing I like to do, it's talk. And I feel like you're probably the same way.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. We'll see you later.
Bye.